Donald Trump's travel ban applies to visitors from Chad, Iran, Libya, Somalia, Syria and Yemen. Credit Rick Bomer. The U.S. Supreme Court handed a legal victory to Donald Trump, ruling that his travel ban can be fully enforced pending an appeal. Mr. Trump's ban, now in its third iteration, bars travel to the U.S. by residents of 6 predominantly Muslim countries: Chad, Iran, Libya, Somalia, Syria and Yemen. 7 of the court's 9 justices agreed to lift 2 injunctions imposed by lower appeal courts 2 months ago that had partially blocked the ban while legal challenges to it continue. The ruling meant the open-ended policy could take full effect while those legal challenges are resolved. It was not a final ruling. A White House spokesman said, "We are not surprised by today's Supreme Court decision permitting immediate enforcement of the president's proclamation limiting travel from countries presenting heightened risks of terrorism. The proclamation is lawful and essential to protecting our homeland. We look forward to presenting a fuller defense of the proclamation as the pending cases work their way through the courts." In a statement, Attorney General Jeff Sessions called the Supreme Court's action a substantial victory for the safety and security of the American people. Mr. Sessions said the Trump administration was heartened that a clear majority of the justices allowed the president's lawful proclamation protecting our country's national security to go into full effect. There have been protests against the ban. Credit Manuel Balchez et al. 2 of the Supreme Court's liberal justices, Ruth Bader Ginsburg and Sonia Sotomayor, said they would have denied the Trump administration's request to lift the injunctions. Mr. Trump announced the latest version of the ban in September, which led to immediate challenges in U.S. appeals courts in Virginia and California. Opponents in those cases argued that the measure targeted Muslims in violation of the U.S. Constitution, and did not advance security goals as the government claimed. They convinced the 2 appeals courts to put implementation of the ban on hold while they and government lawyers argued out the case. But the Trump administration has now secured support from the Supreme Court to move ahead with implementing it while the appeals in Virginia and California continue. Hearings are expected in both those cases this week, meaning the ban could wind its way back to the Supreme Court again in a matter of months. Ahead of the Supreme Court's decision on Monday, lawyers for the Trump administration had argued the policy was crucial to protect U.S. national security, and that it was based on a comprehensive worldwide review. Donald Trump's travel ban. The U.S. Justice Department argued that it justifies the president's finding that the national interest warrants the exclusion of certain foreign nationals, and conclusively rebuts respondents' claims that the entry restrictions were motivated by animus rather than protecting national security. The state of Hawaii and the International Refugee Assistance Project, which had opposed the ban, argued to the Supreme Court that the president's third travel ban, like his first and his second, is irreconcilable with the immigration laws and the Constitution. President Trump's anti-Muslim prejudice is no secret. He has repeatedly confirmed it, including just last week on Twitter. American Civil Liberties Union lawyer Omar Jadwat said, referring to the president retweeting anti-Muslim videos posted by a far-right British party leader, "It's unfortunate that the full ban can move forward for now, but this order does not address the merits of our claims. We continue to stand for freedom, equality and for those who are unfairly being separated from their loved ones," Jadwat added. At a glance, Donald Trump's immigration ban. It had also previously been ruled in lower appeal courts that people from the 6 predominantly Muslim nations who had a bona fide relationship with someone in the U.S. could not be kept out of the country under the ban. Grandparents, cousins and other relatives were among those the lower courts said could not be excluded. Now, those relationships will no longer provide a blanket exemption from the ban, although visa officials can make exceptions on a case-by-case basis. The new policy was not expected to cause the same kind of chaos that ensued at airports when Mr. Trump rolled out his first ban without warning in January. He subsequently issued a revised ban in March after the first was blocked by the courts. The second version, which was temporary, expired in September after a long court fight and was then replaced with a present, third version. Mr. Trump's latest ban also covers people from North Korea and certain government officials from Venezuela, but its main focus is travelers from the 6 predominantly Muslim countries. Refugees were unaffected, as a temporary ban on refugees expired in October.